What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny 2. Now in today's video, we recap this week at Bungie. It's Thursday once again, and we have some awesome new details on the weeks ahead in the lead up to Beyond Light. Alongside this though, we also get some details about next generation consoles, their frame rate, a field of view slider, and the sort of resolutions we can expect when the enhanced versions of the game launch later this year. So if you want to find out more details, be sure to stick around and check out the video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a rating down below. That super helps me out here on the channel. And if you're new here and want to keep up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 content, be sure to hit subscribe as well. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. So as we know, it is Thursday once again, and every Thursday we get a weekly update from our friends over at Bungie, but they started early today and released some details about the next generation of Destiny. So they go on to say that the stars have aligned and the next generation of console gameplay begins in the launch window for Beyond Light. As we continue to improve Destiny 2, we're taking the opportunity to optimize the experience you'll be having on this new hardware. Now the next generation optimized version of Destiny 2 will launch on December 8th, while things like faster load times and cross-generational play will be available from November 10th. They're taking the extra time on the following enhancements to ensure a smooth experience when playing Destiny 2 on your new devices. And here we get a look at some of the resolutions we're going to get per device, alongside a field of view slider which is available on every single device. This is the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S. Now the real standout here is the resolutions. Most next generation platforms will have a resolution of 4K 60 frames per second, with the exception of the Xbox Series S, which provides 1080p, which is still HD, at 60 frames per second as well. Now Bungie go on to say that they're offering a field of view customization on consoles for the first time, and the goal here is to enable a field of view range similar to that on PC. Now this is currently being tested still, and these settings are going to be checked to ensure a smooth performance across each platform, and they'll have additional details to that closer to launch. There'll also be noticeable improvements to things like load times in the game and inspecting character inventory. However, some load times are dependent on networking and matchmaking, so loading into activities still takes time while you search for your opponents. And finally, for cross-generational play, Xbox Series X and S players can play with Xbox One players, PlayStation 5 players can play with PS4 players, and they're excited to share more details on these enhancements closer to launch. But be sure to let me know your thoughts on the next-gen consoles down in the comment section below. Now moving on to the TWAB, this week Bungie go on to talk about the world first raid race. Now for the elite raiders in the room, this means a new shot at glory, and the race for the world first completion of a raid is one of the most spirited traditions within the Destiny community. Now race day is when the world turns its eyes to Destiny to see who emerges the true hero. Now the next raid race for World First begins on Saturday, November 21st at 10 AM Pacific. So put that in your calendar, get those holidays booked if you need annual leave, and get that preparation underway for the World First raid coming September 21st this year. Now a few other things to bear in mind: contest mode will cap all players at 20 power below each encounter for 24 hours. Artifact power will be disabled during contest mode, and 1230 power is your team's goal to be at the cap for all encounters. If you're able to get above 1230, that won't provide any additional advantage in the final fight. Now with previous traditions, world first confirmations come the night of the raid. However, this time it's going to take a little bit longer to get that confirmation, as Bungie will be validating and where needed disqualifying teams who do not adhere to the official rules. Now for those that are able to complete the raid in the first 24 hours while contest mode is active, will receive this very special emblem. So if you want to chase this awesome emblem that's going to be very, very rare indeed, be sure to get those teams prepared and get that prep underway for November 21st. Now as with previous raids, there will be a raid jacket that you can earn for completing the new raid, but if you like to take your time and enjoy content like a fine wine, then you can still earn this coveted emblem for completing the raid outside the first 24 hours. So all in all, some pretty incredible emblems, and it's great to finally have a date in our calendars for the world first raid. So be sure to let me know your thoughts on those emblems and also the date on the raid itself down in the comment section below. Now moving on, Bungie referred to some of the changes and fixes they made around Cypher decoders, and how many Guardians have now managed to get their hands on those coveted exotics from Eva Levante over in the tower. Bungie are always listening though, so if you do have any feedback, be sure to channel it their way down on the official channels. From here, Bungie reintroduced the Community Artist Series back into this week at Bungie. This is an opportunity to share some amazing artwork from some incredible members within our community, but also get to know them a bit better and see some of their talents displayed and shared amongst the community. Now, as you can see, there are some amazing pieces of artwork produced by members of the community, so be sure to check out the blog itself and especially the individuals that create these amazing masterpieces. And to round out the TWAB this week, Bungie Player Support provides some information on some of the fixes they actually provided, again with the Cypher decoders. So last week they introduced 2 fixes to increase the drop rates for these decoders upon activity completions. Now, players should note that these fixes do not provide an increase to Cypher decoders that drop from the following, and that includes enemy kills, gambit matches, forge completions, and non-playlist strikes. So avoid those activities if you're chasing down Cypher decoders. Now, to go on to talk about end of season preparation. So they're updating the end of the in-game season timer to reflect the season of arrivals that will conclude at 7 PM Pacific on the 9th of November. So players will have up until this time to complete any of the activities, quests and triumphs associated to Season of the Rivals. There's also a link here that provides a full list to that. I'll leave a link to that down in the video description below. And to round out the TWAB this week, Deej signs us out, and this appears to be one of his last this week at Bungie, because he is in fact moving on from Bungie. We get a heartfelt message, and Deej's last day at Bungie will be November 6th, 2020, so just before the launch of Beyond Light. Now, he finishes off by saying, "Let's not say goodbye, my friends. Beyond Light is an experience that I will share with you all. You'll still see me around for weeks leading up to launch, and then I'll be reverting back to my original role as a passionate member of the community. See you on Europa. Thank you for everything, and please do be excellent to each other." So there we have it, a TWAB filled with pretty much everything. We get details about the next gen consoles, their resolutions, frame rate, and a very important field of view slider, which has been much demanded by the community. We also get details about the new World First raid that will be launching on the 21st of November. So once again, mark that in your calendars and make sure you have your team ready and prepared ahead of that race later this year. And lastly, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you're going to be running the raid race, but also what you think of those new emblems for not just the World First, but also by completing the raid in your own time. So there we have it. That's going to wrap up TWAB for this week. If you have enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a rating down below. That super helps me out here on the channel. And we're flying past 44,000 subscribers, so thank you to each and every one of you for your continued support. If you're new here though, I want to keep up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 content, all the news, reviews, hints, tips and guides, then be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump back into the game as always, guys, but I will catch you all again very soon.